Endometriosis is a disorder in which the tissue that forms the lining of the uterus grows outside of the uterine cavity. Endometriosis occurs when the endometrium grows on your ovaries, the bowel and the tissue lining of your pelvis. It is unusual for endometrial tissue to spread beyond the pelvic region, but it is not impossible. Endometrial tissue growing outside of your uterus is known as an endometrial implant. The hormonal changes of your menstrual cycle affect the misplaced endometrial tissue. Now this means the tissue will grow, thicken and break down. Over time, the tissue that has broken down has nowhere to go and becomes trapped in your pelvis. This tissue trapped in your pelvis can cause irritation, scar formation, severe pain during your periods, and fertility problems. Endometriosis has 4 stages or types. It can be any of the following: minimal, mild, moderate, and severe. About 2 to 10% of childbearing women suffer from endometriosis. It usually develops years after the start of your menstrual cycle, and this condition can be painful. But understanding the risk factors can help you to determine whether you are susceptible to this condition and when you should talk to your doctor.
Welcome back. You're still watching Shape Your Life. If you have been diagnosed with endometriosis, you may be wondering if there's anything you can do to feel better besides take medication. Healthy nutrition and exercise play an important role in maintaining overall health. We are joined by dietitian Tabitha Hume, who's going to give us some insightful information on how a good diet can help women suffering with endometriosis. I've come to the offices of Tabitha Hume. She's a clinical dietitian and author to find out more about healthy eating and endometriosis. Tabitha, welcome to Shape Your Life.
Thanks, Ronald.
Now, is it important that when dealing with endometriosis, because we're looking at fertility issues right now, and many women are suffering with this without knowing it.
Yes.
Is it important for them to come and see a clinical dietitian to get the right advice when it comes to their food intake?
Without a doubt. What we normally do is we insist that they go to some form of fertility expert, someone who's obviously done a lot of work and research within the endometriosis field, and then they will normally be referred to a dietitian who's a specialist in that. I specialize in polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is another type of female infertility. That has a massive dietary component. In fact, the dietitian normally leads the therapy. Endometriosis slightly less so, but as I say, it's really, we're looking at the baseline of good nutrition, supplying all the nutrients and getting that body in a good space from which we can treat.
Now, when many women look at solutions for this, they tend to supplement.
Yes.
You know, whether it be vitamins or minerals, or whether it be shakes and proteins. Let's call it pills, powders and potions.
Yes.
What's your opinion thereof?
Okay, I'm kind of in the middle with regards to supplements and potions, as you say. If basically a person should be able to get all of their nutrients from their diet. If, however, the disorder that we're discussing happens to be from some form of deficiency, then we can isolate that. And if we can't get enough to rectify the problem from food, then obviously supplementation is important. So what my advice would be to go to a clinical dietitian rather than just a nutritionist, because we're dealing with a disorder here, a disease, and get clinical opinions as to what might be wrong. But certainly saying, is there something that is a general sort of supplement for endometriosis? The only one I think I could come sort of close to would be omega-3s and omega-6s to get the right proportions of those, and a vitamin E supplement as well. We're looking at an inflammatory disorder with regards to endometriosis, so you're trying to look at anti-inflammatory nutrition.
And associated with endometriosis, it often gets misdiagnosed and 8 to 10 years later only then diagnosed. And it's associated with a lot of pain.
Yes.
And pain equals pain medication, but not just the general over-the-counter medications, but the serious scheduled meds. Now that surely should have an effect on the digestive system and what they can eat, should eat, and their appetite. How would you guide them?
Absolutely. And you know, when you've got the pain, you often follow it with anti-inflammatories. Anti-inflammatories have a huge impact on the gut. So you end up with people having reflux problems. They start feeling nauseous. They can't eat in the mornings. That for us dietitians is a problem. We can treat that using probiotics as well. Once you start with the probiotics, don't just take a normal amount of probiotics. We need to do a colony loading. So you actually have to take a very big dose of the probiotics in the morning, big dose in the evening. Do that for about 2 to 3 to 4 days, and then after that go on to the maintenance dose. That again is why the clinical dietitian needs to be consulted, see whether she or he is registered, to actually know the medication, know the pharmacology, know the pathophysiology of the disorder.
Now, what is your final pearl of wisdom to our viewers out there when it comes to food, healthy eating, nutrition and fertility disorders?
Don't over-analyze food, getting totally hung up and frightened of food, ends up with somebody being over-restrictive, conscious of food, which is not a good space to be in, and then having disordered eating where they are over-restrictive and then often binge eat, which for endometriosis is an absolute disaster because your sugar levels will go up and down and then you're really, tickets. It's not a good idea.
Those pearls of wisdom are extremely valuable. Thank you so much for them and for your time. And I hope our viewers out there have learned a lot from this, because I know that I have.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
In our next insert, we chat to a woman who has been living with endometriosis for more than 10 years and has been trying to conceive with no luck. But today, she has a good story to share with the nation and to motivate all the endo warriors that endometriosis can be beaten. Shelley, thank you so much for joining us on Shape Your Life.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Now, endometriosis is something that not many people know of, but the awareness is spreading. Please tell me, what is it?
Endometriosis is when the lining of the uterus sheds outside the uterus. Now, this can form lesions on different organs inside your body. It's not just restricted to the reproductive organs, and that's very important. It can grow in your bladder, your colon, your kidneys. It can grow all over in the pelvic area, which is very important to remember. The problem we have is that people think it's just the reproductive organs and that a hysterectomy will be a cure, which is not the case at all. Not if it's on your colon and your bladder and outside anywhere else in your pelvic area.
Now, who's at higher risk of getting endometriosis?
Any lady. Once you start your period, you've got a chance of having endometriosis. I was diagnosed at age 14, so you're never too young to have endometriosis. It's not about the color of your skin, it's not about your religion. Anyone can have endometriosis, any lady.
Now, are there any specific signs and symptoms that ladies and young girls out there should be aware of?
First one is heavy, painful periods. Such painful periods that you cannot walk, you cannot go to school, you cannot go to work. That's basically the first symptom that younger girls will experience. Later on, it will start becoming lower back pain with your periods being sore, pain during ovulation, pain during sex, painful bowel movements, painful urination. So it grows gradually as you get older.
Do you think that globally, with all the scientific research and the medical practitioners, that we will find a cure?
I believe we will. If not in my lifetime, I'm hoping for our future generations that it will. And the way it's going now, there's a lot of research being done. I think if we can get more people involved and more funding, I think it will make a big difference. And once they can find out what the real cause is of endometriosis, I think then we'll be able to get to the cure.
Now, you've had a very interesting journey. I mean, at being diagnosed with endometriosis at 14, you went through some hectic procedures and processes. Please share that experience with us.
Sure. I've had 9 surgeries. So I've been battling with endometriosis for 18 years this year. 9 surgeries, we've done 3 IUIs and 1 failed IVF-ICSI.
A year ago, we sat together and it was rather emotional because you were going through another fertility treatment, and you and your husband were struggling to add on to the family. Yes. But a year later, dressed in bright yellow with a big smile on your face, you've got some great news for us. Tell me about the news.
Yeah, sure. On the 23rd of February this year, we found out that we are expecting our first miracle baby. It was a complete shock because I was just in such excruciating pain, and then I went to my endo specialist, and he did a scan and he said to me, "Shoo, I don't know, hey, something doesn't look right here, we need to do a blood test." And he phoned me that afternoon and told me, "You're pregnant." And I was just like, "No, you're probably lying to me because maybe you swapped the tests around or something, I don't know." And he's like, "No, I didn't." And I was just in tears.
How can people get hold of Endo Warriors? Did you get more information out of you? How can they join the social network campaigns that you're busy with? Because I believe that we all know someone and who might suffer from this condition, and to educate them and to give them that support is important.
I think most importantly is to look for us on Facebook. I think that's where most of our information are shared, and that you will find on Endo Warriors South Africa. If you type that in, you'll find it, or Team South Africa, because that's what we changed it to for now for the year. And then also register on www.npain.co.za to become a member. From there, we'll direct you to the support groups as well. And then it's your choice. You can also join our WhatsApp groups, but we'll share the numbers with you as soon as you.
I wish you all the best with the great work that Endo Warriors is doing, as well as In Pain.
Oh, thank you so much.
If you don't know what to prepare for your family this Easter, we've got you covered. We spend some time with our catering guru as she prepares a healthy meal that you can enjoy with your family and friends. I've come to visit catering guru Zaida at her kitchen at Delhi to find out how we can make sweet, healthier treats, because I have a sweet tooth and I'm sure Zaida is going to allow me to eat a lot more than what I normally do. Zaida, welcome to Shape Your Life.
Thanks, Ron.
All right, what is on the healthy sweet treat agenda today?
We're going to do some chocolate bark. That's also good for the children to get involved in. We're going to do frozen berry granola bars, and we're going to do a chocolate mousse made with peanut butter, avo and bananas.
It sounds absolutely delicious. My sweet tooth is awake and alive and cannot wait. What's first?
Let's start with the bark. First we have to melt all our chocolate.
The chocolate that you're doing, is it a specific type of chocolate?
Well, it has to be a dark chocolate, Ron, and I'm using 60% dark chocolate here.
Again, the healthier option because it's got a lot more antioxidants in it. It's not as sweet as what the normal milk chocolate bars would be, and a lot more cocoa.
And you know, the kids can get involved with this. So what we do is we just get our chocolate on a board with some parchment paper at the bottom.
Okay.
And then what I've got here is a half a cup of coconut shavings, pistachio nuts for color, and of course for flavor. And then we're going to do jelly beans because it's Easter. But if you don't want to indulge in the jelly beans, you can use dried fruit. Okay. So all sorts of dried fruit cut up, and you can just put it on here, and this is just going to dry out.
This looks like so much fun. It looks so tasty already.
And it tastes great. So you can just put this aside so that it can sit while we're busy with the other stuff.
All right, what's next?
The next thing we're going to do is frozen berry granola bars. And what we're going to do here is 1 cup of granola bar in an 8-inch tin. We just put that at the bottom. And let it sit one side. Here I've got 3 cups of yogurt. I've added a little bit of almond milk at the bottom just for the liquidizing to take place. I've got 1 cup of raspberries, or you can use whatever berries you want. You can use strawberries. It has to be 2 cups. And then I've got 1/3 of a cup of xylitol.
Which is a healthier option to refined sugar.
Yes. And I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Pop this on top of this.
That looks so delicious.
It is delicious.
And it smells so fragrant as well. I think the berries give it a wonderful fragrance, fresh.
Yeah. So this goes into the freezer for 4 hours or overnight. I've prepared one yesterday so that you can taste it before you leave.
Oh, fabulous.
The next thing we're going to do is our chocolate peanut butter and avo mousse. What I'm doing here is 1.5 avos. I put it into a food processor. And this is easy peasy. You don't want to be spending Sunday slaving in the kitchen, working for hours, and then you have no time for family or anything like that. one banana. And then I've got a half a cup of peanut butter.
Smooth or crunchy?
Smooth or crunchy, just depends on you. I've used smooth. And then I've got a half a cup of cocoa powder. It's unsweetened cocoa powder. And then we've got a half a cup of honey. And then we've got a quarter cup of almond milk. So we whiz all of this up. Until it's smooth and creamy.
All right, Zaida, so now that that is all done, I'm going to leave you to do what you do best, not only prepare the food, but make it look delicious as well to the eye. I'm going to take this with me, put it into the freezer, so not only can I taste yours today, but I'll have another one for tomorrow. All right, Zaida, I see the dessert is ready. We're ready for Easter. What do we have first?
We have our chocolate bark first for you to taste.
All right, so we've got the coconut, we've got the pistachio nuts,
Pistachio nuts.
jelly beans, and the dark chocolate. This is delicious.
And here we have the strawberry granola, the frozen strawberry granola. I knew you were coming in pink.
These two have been delicious. How do you top this?
You top it with this.
All right, and this is the chocolate mousse.
This is the chocolate mousse, peanut butter, avo, and banana chocolate mousse.
Now, I have a very high standard when it comes to sweet things, so let's see if this meets that standard.
I bet it will.
Heaven in a glass. That's how simple this is. Smooth, rich, but not overpowering.
No.
The almond milk is delicious because it breaks absolutely everything.
And there's just enough honey in there to take you to that sweetness.
You're right. I'm sorry, that is...
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And I know you're going to grab all of this, so I'm taking this all for me.
She knows me too well. Ronald is known for his sweet tooth. But if you're looking to have a healthy Easter, bring in some sweet options as well. These are the simple recipes to follow. Zaida, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ron,
for
once again.
sharing your expertise and your passion for food with us. And you know, you can share. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
one more. Happy Easter.
While there is no cure for endometriosis, it often gets misdiagnosed in the younger years. For young girls and women who suffer with painful menstruation, please go to your doctor and have it checked out. And don't forget that you can keep in touch with us by sending an email to shapeyourlife@ann7.com with all your health queries or topics that you'd like to see being discussed. From me, Ronald Avergy, and the Shape Your Life team, see you next week.